Looking out here, I'd say anytime you look up, you're gonna see one.
You'd hear sound if it was a typical aircraft. You don't hear anything.
The reason you know it's not a plane is because it keeps circling. It keeps flying the same flight pattern.
Because there's so much out there right now, like you hear the craziest being that it's UFOs.
No way in hell is that a plane.
So I've seen two things. Some look like back to my night hanging out in the container. I literally probably in 1 hour I counted.
The planes fly over my house every day. Green and red light, like they say, but they're on the tips of the plane and the plane's moving a straight line. The drone comes over much lower. Makes you feel like your government's a joke.
My girlfriend, who's she's not big on guns, anything like that, she said to me the other night, she's like, they're making me really nervous. I think I might actually consider getting a gun.
I think over the last 5 years, I've come to the conclusion that I don't trust our government one iota.
Hey guys, I'm out here in the country. This is Alessi. This is a documentary lifestyle channel with a focus on telling the stories of real people. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been here before, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. The goal is I am still in the state I am living in, and I'm actually in the hotbed of this New Jersey drone phenomena that's definitely gone beyond the state of New Jersey. It's actually being seen in the UK, all across the US, and in some other regions. So I decided, since this is a hotbed, and I'll pop up a map right here, you can see that lots of people are seeing drones. And of course, not every single one of these sightings are a drone. There is a lot of misinformation, a lot of people who can't tell the difference between a plane and a drone versus helicopters all at night. However, there are drones. I decided to go into the country, speak to farmers, and also speak to people in the residential area, what they are seeing, and get their footage. And I walked away, honestly, very, very surprised, and with some new theories on what I think this thing could be, and especially talking about the so-called orbs that are being seen. So thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Let's hop into this video. Is this Hunterdon or Somerset County?
This is the border of Hunterdon County and Morris County.
So you're near, this is literally the hotbed for all the drone sightings.
So on a clear night, so they stopped coming the other night. When just a couple nights ago when it was raining, we didn't see any. On a clear night, like last night, man, just driving up the hill, looking out here, I'd say anytime you look up, you're gonna see one.
Anytime you look up at night?
Anytime you look up, you're gonna see one.
How do you know they're not planes?
It's a really good question. So I have some footage that I'm gonna give you, and we can talk about it.
We'll pop it on the screen.
Yeah, this guy's just camping out. Yeah, he's not really moving. You'd hear sound if it was a typical aircraft. You don't hear anything. It's just sketchily same flight path. And there it is. As soon as it gets dark.
They actually look like planes. So you see them, at first it looks like an orb, right? And then it gets a little closer, and then you start to see flashing lights, and it gets a little closer, and you notice it has wings, and it's sort of shaped like a plane.
Okay.
But the reason you know it's not a plane is because it keeps circling. It keeps flying the same flight pattern, and it's probably about 300 feet high, and it makes some sound, but not too much. So my feeling is it's sort of a hybrid craft where it's not just electric, got some form of combustion on it. It looks very much like a plane, and I think they designed it that way.
With all this being said, I just want to know, how do you and your neighbors and your family feel? What's the feeling? Is it more like frustrated, or is it like worried, scared? Like, what is the feeling?
It's intermittent. So like one minute you're like, oh, I got to pick up the kids, the dog's outside, oh, I got to get to work, and then the next minute you're like, there's an unidentified aircraft continually circling my home sometimes 100, 200, 300 feet, and nobody knows what it is. The officials don't know what it is.
We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat. We have not been able to, and neither have state or local law enforcement authorities, corroborate any of the reported visual sightings.
Is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
Nobody's telling you what it is, which then, you go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
We'd all like to think that it's something stupid. And in a couple weeks, they're going to be like, oh, by the way, we were just doing some testing for a new military aircraft that's doing surveillance. And it's very likely that they'll come out and say something like that. Okay, so right now,
That's a helicopter flying.
that's a helicopter, and there's a clear explanation why that's a helicopter, because it's loud.
Yeah.
These things are not loud. These drones, they fly at about that height, but you'd have maybe 1/10 the sound coming off of it. So you'll see something that low, but it will make little to no sound.
Yeah. How many drones have you seen at the most?
Maybe like 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
Yep.
Are they close to each other, or like what's?
No.
They're all going different patterns.
No, the reason I think it's a search, they're searching for something, is because their patterns are consistent. It's almost like you'll see one sitting there, sedentary. It'll just stay. Then you'll see one that'll pass by every 10 minutes in a consistent circle. Then a larger one will come by lower, and it'll come by every 5, maybe every 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So these are flying consistent flight patterns, which tells me, why would you do that? It's not like, if you were searching for a suspect in the woods, you'd see them in different places. They'd be flying low. It doesn't seem like they're. It seems like there's a consistent flight path to these things. She's got an interesting one of a red light, and it was just sort of hovering over that ridge right there, which is another thing that's strange about this area is we have a lot of high power voltage lines, the really big ones,
Yeah.
the big iron, huge structure power lines. It was hovering over those. So that could be something to take
Where'd you
note
take
of.
the video? From where?
From about here,
Yeah.
probably. And so there was a big red one that was just sitting stationary for a long time there. I'd say there's a pretty consistent flight pattern here where, one of the drones, I want to say it's about 5 or 6 feet, and it looks like a plane, actually. It just flies really low and really quiet, and it's not a plane. There's nobody in it. It's too big to be like a regular hobby drone, and it's too little to put a person in it. So it's kind of like in this funny middle ground. But I think they designed them to look like planes so people ask less questions. That's my theory. No way in hell is that a plane.
I feel like we're in Star Wars.
Hey guys, I don't mean to interrupt the video, however, I'm excited to announce I have started my own personal community page. So for those who are interested in finding out and learning more of my raw, uncensored behind the scenes content as well as reactions to my videos, I now have a community page here, as you can see, where you guys can all join. So feel free to check it out, and I'll see you in the video.
So if you have a small plane flying low at 300 feet,
Yeah.
but it still looks like a plane, and then you have a jetliner flying at 20,000 feet, it almost has the same perspective, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they designed it like that to look like a plane, but actually, but whatever. So we saw, so one comes right over those trees there, flies at about 300 to 500 feet over this way and over that ridge there, pretty consistently. And then, Wilbur, come on, come. I wasn't taking it seriously. And I just said, you know what, I'm gonna come out and hang out in my little container back here because it's got tall windows and whatnot. And I'm gonna count how many drones I see. I'm looking up, and there's an orb that hangs right over there. Maybe
An orb?
Yeah, it's just like so there's
Wait, a drone or an orb?
They look like planes. So I've seen two things. Some look like planes. Most of them look like little planes that make no noise and fly really low. And then there's these orb-looking things that just hold their ground and hang at like maybe 300 to 500 feet.
Yeah, this guy's just camping out. Yeah, he's not really moving. Like, what in the world is he doing over Tewksbury? Oh, wait, here we go. We got another one. Typical flight pattern. Here they are again.
Wait, so what do you think those are? Are they the same? Like, do you think they're part of the same purpose of what's going on, or do you think
Yeah, I do.
it's something completely different?
No, I think they're all connected. I think if we go back to the surveillance theory, right? Okay, so I have my planes that are searching for radiation or some material that are flying in their consistent pattern, and then I'm gonna pop one really high that's just gonna sort of scan to try to get more of a global view of everything. And if it catches a little radiation signature here, then maybe it pushes the winged drones to go closer to that. So I think they're part of a detection system.
Oh wait, an orb. Like a bright light orb? Like, what was the color? Describe the shape of it, because that sounds very different from the plane-like features.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two. I think there's two different kinds of drones. I think there's the winged ones, and then I think there's just like. Now, who knows what it looks like up close? But it probably is more one of the ball type drones rather than.
It looks like a ball.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because then you think about like, what is the propulsion system on something like that? How does that move? You know what I mean? Like, most things look like a plane or helicopter, but like an orb.
But
like,
here's where we have to not let our imaginations totally take the wheel. When you take an iPhone, right, and you point it at a light, right, it turns into an orb. Like if it's a far away light, it turns into this blurry orb that starts doing things, and it's really your phone doing things. So I've seen some of those videos online.
Crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies. But I guarantee there are so many people looking up and making those recordings because this mystery is one that needs to be solved.
I'm not sure that I buy any of this extraterrestrial new technology. I think it's just literally one flies around like a plane, and then one is just like a little prop guy with a light on it that just sits up top. I don't think it's any more complicated than that. Back to my night hanging out in the container. I literally probably in 1 hour I counted probably 30 sightings, and they're, you know. Here's the thing, could some of them be planes? Probably, but like, I've lived here for 3 years, and I know how many planes are in the sky. Like, maybe you see a plane every hour and a half, 2 hours, a plane comes by, a jet goes through to one of the local airports, and it's like, okay, you know, this is not that. This is like, there's something going on up there. There's a strategic operation taking place over Tewksbury, Bedminster, Chester.
Have you used that flight tracker app to see the
No.
flight paths? Okay.
No. And the flight paths are consistent. That's the thing. Like, it will come by. So the other one that you're gonna see it comes over that ridge there,
Yeah.
right? And it shoots right over the top here, and you'll see it go over that ridge. I'd say roughly, again, I want to put it at 300-400 feet, maybe. And like, what the hell is it doing back here? We were in rural New Jersey. There's nothing. The reason it's so unsettling is because it's so weird when you really think about it. You're just like, wait, why would you be flying around Tewksbury, Bedminster, Somerset? Like, people in New Jersey don't even know this place exists. You know what I'm saying? Like, people, like, this is not a high traffic area.
Yeah.
So why would all these drones be flying here?
Somerset County, which is right in the heartbeat of where Trump's golf course is in Bedminster. And I decided to go to Cluckus Farms, where they have a lot of people that have seen the drones. So I spoke to some of the farmers to see what they're thinking and what their thoughts on it. What was that like when you first saw them? Like, how could you identify them versus like a plane?
Well, it's pretty easy to tell a plane from the drone. I mean, the planes fly over my house every day. Green and red light, like they say, but they're on the tips of the plane, and the plane's moving a straight line. The drone comes over much lower, totally. I mean, it literally sounds like a jet engine at times, and that's what got me the first time I saw it. I was sitting in my kitchen and heard it and walk out the back door, and it was right over my house, and then continued off over my backyard. And literally, it almost sounded like a jet plane, you know, like a jet engine plane going over. But was it truly, you know, like, it definitely was not a no jet plane, you know, jet engine plane. It was not moving.
Yeah.
You know, it was so. I haven't witnessed many. But everybody says they've seen them over Solberg, which is literally, I look out my back door and watch planes take off. Give us answers is a real thing, you know, because they're clearly there, you know. There's enough videos, enough evidence, and, you know, why does the evidence keep disappearing when people put it up? A video's up for a day or two, and then it's gone, and everybody's, where'd my video go that I posted? So someone's taken it down because they don't want acknowledgement of it. But, you know, for us here, just give an answer.
How do you guys feel?
Makes you feel like your government's a joke, you know, because if you can't give a straight answer and give the same answer every time, it keeps changing, and there's like words missing, and, you know, like, it's beating around the bush all the time with the answer. I mean, tell you, if you see one go down, don't go anywhere near it. Like, be scared of getting near it, but they pose no threat. So they can fly 100 foot over your head and they're not a threat, but if they're on the ground, don't go anywhere near it.
Get the hazmat suit.
Yeah. And so clearly they know what it's there for. They just don't want you to figure out what it's there, you know, why it's there and what it's doing. So you know, just
what's
be honest.
The best theories though? What are the best theories that you got going for you? Like, out of all of them you've heard, because there's some far fringe ones like UFOs to then all the way being that nukes.
Yeah, the nukes. And yeah, you know, how does a nuke go missing? How does a nuclear weapon just, you know, disappear? If a nuke went missing, then, I mean, that's, our government's even more of a mess, you know. It's like, we're supposed to be so big, powerful, smart, have all this technology, but we can't tell what the drone's out there, where the drone's coming from, who it belongs to. I mean, to me, if it was really any other country, anything malicious, you would see military all over the place here. You know, Solberg Airport, they would be littered, you know. It was flying over Round Valley. You know, like, we would have a military presence if there was actually something malicious from an outside source, you know. Not the fact that you don't have military presence tells you it's in-house, it's us, it's, you know, and they just don't want to tell us what they're doing. And that's what's the most bothering, you know. If you're not doing something malicious or bad, then just tell everyone and stop the worry, stop the craziness, stop, you know.
If I had to guess, it's our own government doing some kind of experiment. Reason why I believe that is they're trying not to cause some kind of, you know, mass hysteria. You know, if you were to say it's China or Russia or, you know, anything like that, people are going to start freaking out. You know, we've got foreign invaders. And I mean, I guess in theory, the same rule kind of applies. If they're not telling us anything, then, you know, they're trying to prevent chaos.
Yeah, and how do you feel though? Like, are you concerned, don't care? Or, like, what's the feeling with all this?
I'm not necessarily too concerned because, I mean, so far all they've done is just kind of fly around. I would like to know what's going on. You know, it is a little concerning. You know, it's almost like if you were to have a neighbor walk over your side, start taking pictures of your backyard, then walk away with no explanation. If it is innocent enough, you know, just tell us. Or if something's going on, you know. A lot of my friends are, you know, some of them are convinced that it's foreign. You know, they want to go shoot them down, you know.
Light up the sky.
Yep. And even my girlfriend, who's she's not big on guns, anything like that, she said to me the other night, she's like, they're making me really nervous. I think I might actually consider getting a gun. And yeah, that was really shocking to me.
I know plenty of people that are all over Facebook posting pictures of clearly airplanes and helicopters landing. Like NJSP's helicopter the other day was flying over and everybody was like, oh, there's a drone. It's not a drone. You could hear the audio of the helicopter. But I mean, something weird has to be happening because there's enough people that are talking about it, but I myself haven't seen it.
How does this make you feel, the whole situation? Obviously, it sounds like, you know, there's a lot of BS out there. Like, you're like, all right, there's a lot of fake stuff you're seeing. But the real stuff, let's say there is still some drones, but not a lot. How does that make you feel?
I think over the last 5 years, I've come to the conclusion that I don't trust our government one iota. And I think that this is just like anything else, and they're distracting us from the real thing. It's got everybody worried, thinking that there's because they're not transparent about anything. So even if they don't know, like, they have to know something. Like, you can't even put up a little hobby drone without Solberg Airport catching up on you. So there's no way that drones the size of cars are coming across New Jersey without, you know, hanging around Picatinny Arsenal without somebody knowing. They know.
Yeah.
So whether it's us or whoever it is, don't let the government fool you into thinking that they don't know what's going on. They know exactly what's going on. I think there's something going on overseas right now that they don't want us to look at, and it's in the news in fine print, and whatever it is leading towards something even bigger, and they don't want us to watch it, because if we watch it, we're going to freak out even more, and it's not good for the current administration to have us up in arms.
Yeah.
But they're on their way out. They don't like the guy that's on the way in, and they're going to cause as much chaos as humanly possible by January 20th. That's what I think they're going to do. I mean, call me crazy, conspiracy theorist, whatever you want. I have a very uneasy feeling about the state of the union right now. You start tying in the fact that we've let how many millions of military-aged males just wander into this country illegally, and we're not kicking them back out. How many sleeper cells are out there waiting for the signal, and how many of these drones are just mapping it out? Like, I know it sounds nuts, but...
No, actually, I spoke to a former FBI agent, and that was his theory.
You know, if these things are mapping out, all right, we're going to go here, 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 and here. It's going to take you that long to get there. You're going to do this on January 19th. Release the demons.
Yeah.
It does. It sounds insane, but so did COVID. I don't know. I thought the only reason I was seeing it around here was because I had the most friends on Facebook from this area.
Yeah.
But I've seen mostly northern Jersey and like out towards Bergen, Passaic County.
Jersey City and all that.
Which is funny because out that way you have Newark, JFK, and LaGuardia Airport all within, as the crow flies, 10 miles? So the amount of air traffic that goes over it, even just look up here. I mean, you'll see 15, 20 planes in the sky at a time.
Yeah.
So this is, you know, Newark being, and it's Christmas time, Newark being UPS's hub. You know, there's a massive amount of air traffic right now. So if these things are happening out there and they're bringing drones in and scoping things out, who knows? You know, I-78, I-80, two major interstates that have a massive amount of truck traffic on it. And then there was those stories about lost uranium somewhere.
Yeah.
Is that impossible? No, but I would hope that they would tell us, like, hey, hunker down because something might explode soon. The thing that I've been thinking about is the drones. Like, if these things are the size of cars, so what was they brought that spray drone out here, which was it fit about in the bed of a pickup truck, weighed like 250 pounds loaded or something like that. Even if you took the tank load off of it and dropped that 80 pounds off of it, it only had a 9-minute flight time.
Yeah.
So what kind of technology has somebody else got that's got drones flying all the way across the state of New Jersey and back? That's hours. It wasn't like they were flying at 700 miles an hour. They're just plenty slow enough for people to identify them. So it's, even if it was a 2-hour round trip, 9 minutes versus 2 hours is a lot. So the battery pack would have to be like 30 times the size of the battery pack on that thing, which was a 40-pound suitcase. The regular person anymore has no clue what's going on. And ignorance is bliss to some people, but for others, it's like, you know, you start thinking about these things and like, yeah, they sound crazy. It literally sounds crazy to think that the government would somehow be against us. But at the same time, it's not like it's never happened in history.